I'm Amanda Fitz, and I'm sitting here with Edward Nyahay, who plays the Zoetic Steer in LiveItShowIt.com. Edward, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with Live It Show It.
Okay, I'm a teacher. I'm a high school teacher. I teach media arts. I've pretty much taught all over the country. I've taught in Florida, I've taught in New York, and now out here in Los Angeles. But there was a hiatus that I took from teaching for about 3 years, and during that hiatus I was working at Galpin Honda. And that's where I met my good friend Noah Smith, who is also co-creator of the Live It Show. So when we first met, we in between talking about selling cars, we always talked about creating our own little webisode, our own little series, whatever, and it just never manifested. You know, 5 years has gone by now. I've gotten this amazing job working at this really cool school with all this equipment, and we're using it. And the cool thing is I'm also teaching what we're doing with the show back to the students, so I'm getting the school involved instead of just, you know, borrowing everything. Awesome. So it's just a win-win for everybody, and it's been really, really cool. So, so that's pretty much, you know, he called now 5 years later and said, hey, I got an idea. We actually have the means to do it. Let's do it. And that's how the whole thing got started.
Perfect. Now your character, Zoetic Steer, is like very eccentric. Now, how much do you think that eccentricity is important to him teaching his students?
Okay. The reason why his character's got so much energy, and it's just, I don't know if it comes across a little flamboyant or just I don't care attitude. It's probably all of the above. I think he's at the point in his life when he talks to somebody, and what he needs to do, his whole craft is sort of opening up the soul of the individual and sort of opening them up and pulling out their creativity. Now, there's certain techniques and certain buttons you got to push, and you have to do it with a certain amount of energy. And you have to know how to do it. It's sort of like a science that has been mastered throughout all these different years of doing it myself. So it's easy to write a character to go in there. But to really get the comedic end of it, I think that eccentricity is important because it just really, it's this over-the-top character that has this tons of energy that when all that energy is coming out at an actor or at another character, it has no choice but to literally open them up, put them on the spot, and then their best work come out. So yeah, I think it is very much so needed in these webisodes.
Great. Now, Edward, you touched upon, in your real life, you actually teach high school students broadcasting and media training. How much of your character is influenced by your real life experiences in the classroom?
Zoetic Steer, I think, encompasses a lot of different characters. And in doing so, so does myself as a teacher. You know, when I'm there and I'm trying to get something across to a kid, I'll pop into whatever character I need to drill that home. Now, the fine-tune acting and directing comes in when I'm working very intimately with students in scenes. And as a director, one thing that I always tell these kids is if you're going to direct somebody, you need to live it yourself and you need to become it. Because that whole thing of a picture being worth 1,000 words, it's so much more important, especially these are tools that you need to use as a teacher. So to sit there and talk to your blue in the face to try to get something across or just become it and show it, that's the easiest thing, you know what I mean? And it's the fastest way of getting somebody into character. So I think there's certain attributes that make up Mr. Nyahay and make up Zoetic Steer, you know what I mean? So there are those common elements, but I think obviously I'm taking this up to a whole nother level, you know, with his energy and with his enthusiasm, you know, and his passion for the craft. You know, but it just comes out in different ways with Zoetic compared to
So this is a great outlet for you to do things that you can't do in the classroom on the web series.
Most definitely.
Perfect.
Yeah, because I just take it again to that whole other level that, you know, if I did it too much in the classroom, you know, and I didn't come back to my normal self, I think the kids would seriously run out or it would just become a little bit too much. You know, but yeah, but doing it within takes, you know, it's fun and finding, you know, the moments where maybe the guy calms down a little bit, but it's never just normal. It's never just the energy dying. You know, even if he's just sitting there in class, it's still that intensity, you know, as he's waiting and salivating for his next, you know, thing that he needs to teach these actors.
Great. Now, your character on the show owns a company called Backgrounders, Inc. Tell us why that's significant.
Okay, Backgrounders, Inc., that was going to be the original concept of the whole show itself. And then as we started to develop the characters and what the theme was going to be and create the structure for the show, the Backgrounders took more of a subplot. And the Live It, Show It being the motto of Zoetic Steer's acting class, I think became more into the foreground. But he owns this company. And I think it's very important that Zoetic's message is this. whether you're going to go and be the guy that crosses the camera, you know what I mean, on a busy street, or whether you're going to be the lead actor, you know, coming out of the coffee joint and walking across the camera itself, you're both still taking your moments, you know, and I really feel that if you're going to be a background person, you still need to give it 110%. You still need to create that character, you know, so you're already in that moment, you're in that zone. So you're not cheating the artistry of acting.
Great. So did you guys intend for irony in the fact that your character Zoetic Steer owns Backgrounders Inc. and is teaching his students to be leading actors?
I don't know if it's so much of an irony as just reinforcing that message that no matter what you're going to do in life, just give it your all. Do everything and give it 110%. Give it your heart, your soul, you know, and when you're acting, you know, okay, when I lived in New York, I played a homeless guy. I had a big scruff going on, and at the time I was smoking. So I literally, in the scene, there was a show, Johnny Good or whatever it was. It was only on for like a season, whatever. But anyway, in the scene, the lead actors are walking down Manhattan, walking down the street, and I'm sitting there and I'm in their way as they walk down, you know, and I play a homeless guy. So I literally do not move, and I was so in character that the lead actors tried to push me out, and I refused to move, and I sort of grunted at them, so they walked around me, and then after the scene was over, they thought I was a real homeless person. They came up to me and said, "We thought you were really homeless."
Compliment.
So, you know, and to me, it comes back to those moments, you know, where, yeah, I was just a background, but you know what? I felt like I was part of that scene. Instead of just being the guy who's standing there having a smoke, no, I was the homeless guy standing there whose odor probably oozed out from me, you know, and I forced them to deal with me, you know, because I felt I was as significant as they were. And I think that's Zoetic's magic.
So Edward, how did you come up with your character's name, Zoetic Steer? It's very unusual, but it seems to fit him very well.
Well, thank you. A lot of time and energy went into that name. I think it comes back down to, I feel like when I go back into the class and I'm teaching character development, I think it is very important that you create a name, a first name and a last name that truly represents what those emotions or the characteristics of that character and who that character truly is. So the first name I feel should throw it in your face. Who is this person? And then that last name should be the culture of that person, where the background is, or the stability of the character. So going in with that concept, we were up on the internet, and I love Z-names. I've written a novel called Wings of Flesh, and the lead character's name is Zyra. I actually manifest that character. He's a musician, and I actually sing under that name, Zyra. My daughter's name is Zyla. Yeah. So I definitely wanted something in the Z name. And plus I used to work for Zalman King, who started, I think, this whole entertainment industry thing in me. So I ran his office for 4 years. But anyway, going back to the Zoetic Steer character, when we went in, Zoetic meant passion and drive. And then steer, obviously, like steering that passion and steering that drive. And putting those two together just felt like, yeah, that's the guy. And that's exactly him, somebody that can conjure up that and direct it somewhere. You know, that's truly who he is down to his core.
So, Edward, we know that Zoetic is very eccentric. Is there other aspects to his personality that we don't know about or that we're going to see later in upcoming webisodes?
Yeah, I think there's a very dark side to Zoetic Steer that maybe is touched upon or you see it, but I pull it off in a comedic way, but it's sort of like a real serious underground or underlined issue. And I think it comes out to a couple of this. Like Zoetic, to me, the core of Zoetic is very original. But there's certain characters that are at least sub-characters that still make up Zoetic, sort of these darker undertones of who he is, and it's those characters that I think we will be developing in the future. You know, where has he come from? And actually the place that Zoetic sleeps after he goes home from teaching this eccentric, crazy acting class is a mystery right now. We know where it's going, but it's a mystery to the audience. But it's something that's very interesting because it just, again, reinforces and ties everything back together of who he is and why he's doing what he's doing.
Great. Now, Edward, I think we definitely have to show our viewers a scene and a clip of Zoetic Steer, so can you set this up for us?
Most definitely. I'll bring you guys into the classroom. I'll bring you into one of the acting scenes. Now, Zoetic's mission in life is to get actors into the zone, okay? And the zone is that place where you forget who you are, you forget where you are. The only thing that matters is every moment hangs on that next breath or that next moment within the scene, and truly nothing else is going on. So you're going to see these actors in this pyramid, in this cheer, and you're going to see people like a politician with his arms raised and cheering, you know, like a cheerleader, like a high school cheerleader, you know. So it's really funny just to see how he's able to get these characters out of their elements, out of their shell, and put them into a place that they never ever dreamed of going. And then you'll see how he deals with that. So.
Great, let's take a look.
And cut!
Oh, team, go!
Oh, yeah!
Team, go!
Now that is what I'm talking about!
Oh, team, go!
Hagen, I said cut! You lived it throughout the week, and you showed it here tonight on stage! Now that is acting!
Always entertaining. Edward, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Viewers, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to check it out, liveitshowit.com. I'm Amanda Fitz with Triple Glance.